Welcome back, Gules and football fans. Big news coming straight out of Barcelona as the transfer window drama finally comes to an end. Hansi Flick has spoken about Fermín López's future, and the young midfielder has made his final decision despite Chelsea's huge offer. We'll also break down the 1-1 draw against Rayo Vallecano, the fresh VAR controversy that has Real Madrid furious, updates on Barca's long-awaited return to Camp Nou, and the latest registration twist involving Roony Bardghji. A lot to cover, let's get right into it. Hansi Flick spoke to the press on Saturday ahead of Barcelona's La Liga trip to Rayo Vallecano, but the coach spoke very little about the game and was often asked about one topic: the future of Fermín López. The young midfielder is the subject of strong interest from Chelsea, and with 3 days to go in the transfer window there has been no resolution yet on the 22-year-old's future. Flick was asked about Fermín and sounded optimistic after revealing he had a personal chat with the player, and said he's seen a positive switch in mentality in Fermín in the last couple of days after looking a little distracted at the start of the week. He's here for now. I've spoken to him and I think he'll stay. I'll be very happy when the transfer window closes. I told him my opinion, but I'm keeping it to myself. There are people who know more about what's going on. It's a business, but I'm focused on my team. He's shown many times how important he is to us. He can help us a lot. At the beginning of the week he was different than now. I see him as more focused. I think he's in a good position. The speculation around Fermín López's future has finally been put to rest. Despite persistent rumors and Chelsea's strong interest, the 22-year-old midfielder has told Barcelona he has no intention of leaving this summer, according to Mundo Deportivo. Chelsea had made him a tempting offer, a leading role under Enzo Maresca and a significant pay rise, but Fermín decided to remain loyal to Barça. From the start, the Catalan club were clear they had no plans to sell, setting a huge €90 million price tag. The Blues, however, only ever went as far as submitting a €40 million bid on Saturday, which fell well short of Barcelona's valuation. For Hansi Flick and the fans, Fermín's decision is a major boost, as the coach had already hinted he expected the youngster to stay. Fermín did seriously consider Chelsea's offer for a couple of days and even met with sporting director Deco to discuss his situation, but Barca remained optimistic throughout the process that López would never change his stance and would want to stay. Now we have a happy ending to this story, and Fermín will be a Barca player when the Blaugrana meet Chelsea in the Champions League in a few months. Barcelona's 1-1 draw against Rayo Vallecano on matchday 3 of La Liga was not just a tale of missed chances and shared points. The game once again highlighted the refereeing inconsistencies that continue to irritate Real Madrid and the fans. The controversy came during a chaotic spell at Vallecas, where Lamine Yamal's penalty incident took place in the middle of a stretch without VAR intervention. The lack of clarity immediately reignited debates around officiating in Spanish football, with questions being fired at players, managers and even refereeing bodies. For Real Madrid, these moments are a constant source of tension. The club has repeatedly voiced concerns over how decisions impact the league, and the episode at Vallecas was yet another example fueling their frustration. Xabi Alonso's light-hearted response. The focus quickly shifted to Xabi Alonso, who faced the media storm almost by accident. On Monday morning, as he arrived at Valdebebas to oversee training, the manager stopped his car to greet fans and sign autographs. Among those waiting was a cameraman from El Chiringuito TV, who pressed Alonso for his opinion on the controversial penalty call in the Rayo-Barcelona clash. With a mix of humor and irony, Alonso responded, "I knew you were going to ask me about that." When the reporter attempted to push further, Alonso politely avoided any comment, simply saying, "I'm going to sign." His refusal to be drawn into the debate is a calm and diplomatic approach, steering clear of adding fuel to an already heated discussion. The silence, however, spoke volumes. By choosing not to comment, Alonso avoided controversy while still acknowledging the topic that has once again dominated headlines in Spain. According to an update from Cadena SER, Barcelona can finally breathe easier as Fermín López has informed the club that he wants to continue at the Camp Nou despite interest from Chelsea. The 22-year-old midfielder had been at the center of transfer speculation in recent days, leaving Barca uneasy as the summer window for the 2025-26 season neared its close. The uncertainty stemmed from Fermín's silence. With just over 12 hours left before the window shuts on Monday, the midfielder had not given Barcelona any clarity. After the clash against Rayo Vallecano, he stayed in Madrid to join the Spanish national team's training camp, leaving the club and fans anxious about his decision. 4 days, Fermín weighed up whether to accept Chelsea's proposal, one that promised him a prominent role, or to continue building his career at Barcelona, the club he has grown up with and always called home. Barcelona relieved as Fermín commits future. Inside the club, the silence had created frustration. Barca were living with what was described as a mix of calm and discomfort, knowing that Chelsea were still active in the market and could push until the very last hours of the window. Now though, the midfielder has made his choice clear. Reports say Fermín has communicated his desire to stay at Barcelona, a decision that strengthens Hansi Flick's plans for the season. The club still intends to wait until the transfer market officially closes before relaxing fully, but the message from the player has eased concerns. At just 22, Fermín is seen as an important part of Barcelona's long-term future. His current contract runs until 2029, and he remains highly regarded across Europe. While Chelsea tried to lure him with the challenge of Premier League football, Fermín's decision confirms his commitment to consolidating his place at the club of his life. Barcelona are reportedly poised to make their long-awaited return to Camp Nou in their first game after the international break. When it comes to their homecoming, fans of the Catalan Giants have suffered through more false dawns than Truman Burbank. Barcelona were initially scheduled to be back on familiar turf as soon as November 2024. 10 months on and they are still waiting. Construction on the iconic venue began after the 2022-23 campaign, forcing Barcelona to trudge up the hill of Montjuic and play at the old Olympic Stadium from the 1992 games for the past 2 seasons. Not only has this been a financial blow for the club at a time of extreme economic caution, any ground is going to be less profitable than the hulking capacity of a full Camp Nou, but the atmosphere on match day has been noticeably diminished in their unwanted surroundings. Barcelona had initially confirmed they would return to Camp Nou for their final preseason friendly in August, but those plans were scrapped after the club failed to secure the required permits in time. To buy more time, Barca's first 3 league fixtures of the new season were scheduled away from home while the paperwork was being processed. There had even been fears that the highly anticipated clash with Valencia on September 14th would have to be played at the much smaller Estadi Johan Cruyff, which only holds 6,000 fans. However, the good news is that Camp Nou's grand comeback now looks to be back on track. Club officials are described as absolutely confident that they will receive the final construction certificate by Wednesday at the very latest, per Sport. Promotional material for the Camp Nou return has already been filmed, featuring President Joan Laporta lying spread-eagled in the center circle. Initially, Barcelona will only be able to house 27,000 fans for the visit of Valencia. The next stage of the expansion should see 45,000 spectators welcomed by the end of October, while 60,000 could be ushered into the ever-expanding venue in November. It's thought that it will still take 2 more years until works are completely finished. Barcelona finally managed to resolve Roony Bardghji's registration issue on the very last day of the transfer window. On Monday morning, the Catalan Federation officially listed him as a Barça athletic player. The original plan was always to register Bardghji with the B team, but La Liga pushed back, considering him more of a first-team signing. Because of salary cap problems, Barça couldn't immediately register his deal and had to prioritize other players like Gerard Martín and Wojciech Szczesny. Now, Bardghji will technically be part of Barça Athletic, though he's expected to spend most of the season around the first-team squad. The league will now watch Rooney's situation closely and monitor whether or not he makes enough appearances for Juliano Belletti's team. Bardghji will have to spend at least some time and play a few games with Barça Athletic throughout the season, but he will be part of the first team's dynamic for most of the campaign. So, Fermín López is staying, Flick is relieved, and Barcelona can finally look ahead with some stability as the season continues. The VAR chaos has once again shaken La Liga, Camp Nou's long-awaited return is almost here, and young talents like Bardghji are now officially part of the project. What do you think, Kules? Was Fermín right to reject Chelsea and stay at Barça? And how confident are you about the team's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for all the latest Barcelona updates. Visca Barça!